There are 5 big players in the NBA media that I think are getting this story completely wrong. These figures include Bill Simmons, Ryan Russillo, Zach Lowe, Brian Windhorst, and Adrian Wojnarowski. So about 2 weeks ago, Brian Windhorst commented that Victor Wembanyama was not thrilled with where the Spurs are. And so there's pressure on the Spurs to win now, and they need to accelerate this ambiguous timeline that they're on and start contending right away. What I think they're getting wrong is they're all indicating that the Spurs need to make a move. So, for example, trading for Trae Young or trading for LaMelo Ball. Now, I don't know this, but I don't think that's the pressure that Victor Wembanyama is putting on Gregg Popovich and the Spurs, if he is. But if I had to guess, I would think the pressure is on Gregg Popovich and the Spurs to stop losing on purpose. It's becoming really, really obvious. You've added a generational talent, and yet the team is a bottom dweller. It is the 3rd worst team in the NBA. So what do I mean by when I say stop losing on purpose? Well, this would mean play the best players. Don't have Victor playing at center. You know, we've watched multiple times this season where Victor is playing against a huge center like Alpi Sengun or Joel Embiid. Now, Victor is talented enough that he can flex to the center position, but that is not his body type. His body type is not to battle these behemoths down low. And so it really puts him at a disadvantage. And so what I would guess Victor is saying is, let's actually try to win games. Let's have a good season. It doesn't have to end up in a championship. And so that's what I have on the whiteboard is we get in the NBA, we often get caught in this polarizing scenario where it's either we're a horrible team or we win the championship. And that's not the case at all. Victor Wembanyama just wants to win. He wanted to get into the playoffs. That was his stated objective for this season. Of course, that can't happen when you have a head coach that is losing on purpose. So I also have here this minutes restriction. If you look at Victor Wembanyama's minutes, even though his minutes restriction is supposedly lifted, he's still only playing about 31 minutes per game. So he still doesn't get to play the full game. And these are just 3 examples, but the point here is that these mainstream media players are getting this wrong. They're assigning this to saying, Victor is saying, no, make a trade. We need to win now. No, Victor is saying, just give us a chance to win now. That's what is not happening, is you have Gregg Popovich who is making moves that make it very, very difficult to win, and it's resulted in their record. I think what Victor Wembanyama's pressure would be is to say, let's stop trying to lose. It's over. We need to start winning. We need to start competing for real. And you can't do this when you're not playing your best players, or you sit your best players when they're having good games or when they're starting to get hot. This can't happen when you are playing Victor knowing he can't defend some of these players. It's not a knock on Victor. That's not his body type. Even though he is really tall, even though he can play center and play center against other players who are slimmer, he's not going to be able to battle the Joel Embiids. That's just not him. Joel Embiid is what, 330? Victor's maybe 230? You know, there's a 100-pound difference between those two. He's just not going to be able to play down low. It has nothing to do with really even his strength. It's just your body type and his position. He just doesn't have that. So you don't want him to become bulky anyway. But the point here is stop doing things that cause you to be weighed down. And that's what's happened. And that is why the Spurs are the 3rd worst team in the NBA. This is a team that could have been a playoff team. But because we have this preconceived timeline where we have to wait and we have to get high draft picks and then we can win, I really hate that they've wasted a season of Victor Wembanyama's career. They have wasted a season that Victor Wembanyama is 20 years old. He is healthy. We don't know how many healthy years he has left. He also cannot stand to lose. You can see it on his facial expressions. He does not tolerate losing. So yes, there is pressure to win, but the pressure is not the type of pressure that these different media people are describing. The pressure is to stop losing games on purpose.